Would you like to open up your own Soviet republic and manage all the workers and resources that go along with, fine-tuning your own communist regime? Well, this game, Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic, might have the most appropriate descriptive name for a game ever. It's perfect. It's exactly what it's about. Workers and Resources in a Soviet Republic. Hi, guys. My name is Charlie, and I'd like to give a special shout out to 3 Division for providing a key for this, as well as this series is brought to you in part by the Game Development World Championships. Yeah, that's a thing. I didn't even know until they reached out to me. More about them at the end of the video. You can also click the link down in the description. So, this game is deep. It's got depth, all right? And we're going to go look at it. Take it a little bit slow, but I think the first video you might find is pretty fast-paced because I kind of already have a plan in mind on how I want to start. So we're going to go to New Game, and I'm going to choose Random Map. Now, they got various different difficulty settings, and those will adjust your starting conditions for the most part, as well as ongoing conditions, things like how you have to manage your energy. I'm going to tweak this stuff a little bit. I'm going to make a difficulty that I want, okay? We're going to keep our unsatisfied citizen reaction to a reasonable amount, not easy. We're also going to keep our starting money at the medium rank as well. But I'm going to jump energy management to buildings plus vehicles. This is going to require me to provide fuel for all of my vehicles, as well as manage my own power systems. You can also disable both of this, and then you don't need any power lines, and you don't need to manage fuel. You can just build, and that's nice too. If that's how you want to play, you can. Now, I really like the day-night cycle in this game. I do, but after some playtesting for this, it's going to be very difficult, I think, to make a good, cohesive YouTube series if it keeps going dark on me, because it just doesn't, it's really hard to show you things when it's night. So for that reason, I'm going to make it always day. And we're just always going to have daytime, even though I really like this. Seasons, absolutely enabling it. We're going to have building fires, normal frequency. All right. I don't need things going on fire all the time, but I do want to make sure that I'm protecting people from fire, so I will have to manage it. We're also going to have some global events. So epidemics might happen, global market changes might cause prices to fluctuate, all sorts of things. I want all that stuff. Obviously, pollution, I want to have it negatively affect my citizens if I let it get out of control. So I'm going to have to manage that stuff too. And I think we're just going to start in the 1960s. Let's just let myself get a whole bunch of time to build up here, right? We're a fictional Soviet republic in the 1960s, okay? Vehicle availability, we're just going to lock it according to year, so we can't just make futuristic vehicles in 1960. And there's a really cool setting called education simulation, where if you put it on simple, then everybody can work, even if they're not have the basic of education, and parents can actually go work if their children are under 6 years old, which is, that's cool. If you change it to complex, though, then you have to somewhat manage the education of your citizens too. You need to teach kids in school in order for them to be able to work, at least to the kindergarten level. And parents, if they have children that are under 6 years old, they will not work unless they can send their kids to kindergarten. So you have to kind of invest in education just a little bit more. That's fine with me. I like that. Again, we're doing a random map. I'm going to start just a little bit higher on population. And now we can just kind of choose how our map seed is generated. I'm going to leave lakes about the same. I think I'm going to bring hills down just a tad. We'll have terrain height the same. Tree density, maybe I'll bring that up just a tad. And then forest amount, yeah, sure, that's fine. Rivers, I'm going to bump that up to 3. And then I'm going to tell the game to generate cities on the map. Now, it's going to spread them out, but I can tell it to generate a bunch of cities so that the land isn't just a complete total barren wasteland. And this also provides a little bit of strategicness, I'll go with, because I might want to position some things so that it can easily work with existing cities and existing civilizations, because there's workers there, there's buildings, there's homes, all that stuff. So it's nice. And I'm going to tell it to make 8 cities or something, okay? All right. These are my settings. Let's get started with the Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. And again, I want to give a huge thank you to the GDWC. I really encourage you to stick around to the end of the video. I'll walk you through what they're all about. I think it's a pretty cool thing that I didn't know existed until I reached out. And a lot of you guys probably don't know it exists either. So again, I really hope you'll stick around for that description. Or just read the description. That works too. All right, we're in the map. Let's zoom out really quick and take a look in the clouds, huh? Yeah, no, they did some pretty good jobs on this, the details and stuff on this. I like it. We have a weather system and stuff in the game too. It'll probably really mess up the quality of my recordings. All right, let's get under the clouds and just take a look at all this, Simba. Everything the light touches is our kingdom, right here, okay? And now it's my time as ruler. So let's take a quick look at sort of some of the basics of the game. If you're new to this channel, maybe this is the first series you've checked out, I like to go through the basics of the game, the real easy stuff. I like to go through that just so that brand new players or people who've never seen the game before, they're not completely lost. If that's not you, if you have experience with this or you just know things, you want to skip that, you can go to the timestamp located right here, and you'll skip all that stuff and get to the part where we start planning, okay? So, we have the borders here. Obviously, it's the biggest square map. Let's take a look at it. And on the borders, we have access to two types of nations. We have the Soviet bloc, which is represented by the red stars. And these guys we're going to buy from and sell from. Sell from? Yeah, sell to with rubles. We start with 3.5 million rubles. Then we have the blue, all right? And these blue symbols, this is the Western nations, right? Think like the United States if you want to. These guys trade in US dollars. We start with $1 million US. Now we can build using rubles and US dollars, but there's a lot of things we can't use US dollars for. So we're gonna try our best to start out getting a really good trade relationship with the Soviet bloc first, since they're really close to us. Wow, this little city here is pathetic, isn't it? This is one of the towns that it generated. Okay. Well, at least you're really close to this border. Maybe we'll use that. I don't know. We got another one right down over here. And since we opted to have cities generate for us, that one's kind of pathetic too. This one's a little better. It's got a cathedral. Yeah. There's a little bit there. We're gonna basically be making our own cities though. So the goal of the game is to basically build a civilization where you, much like Soviet Russia, control the products and the means of producing those products. You control the whole thing. You're basically starting up your own communist regime. And so what we're attempting to do here, we're going to want to make profit. So we're going to want to be able to, sell things for more than we buy them for and all that stuff, right? But the other thing is that we want to be more self-sufficient, because in this game, anything you can buy, you can also build it yourself using resources, like from the ground. So we also want to get places like this little stone quarries and stuff. We want to be able to have wood for, making our own building supplies and stuff. And we can see where those supplies are, those resources are, some of them anyway, by hovering over these icons in the menu. So we've got coal, iron, oil, uranium ore, and bauxite. The resources we're going to start with, really paying a lot of attention to, and ultimately deciding on where we're going to settle is based on where oil is. That's just how I'm going to start anyway. You can start any way you want. That's the kind of an interesting part about this game. So I'm going to look at oil really quick, and we're going to want to pick a place that has two things. I want a place that has a lot of oil, which over here seems to be a good fit, but it also needs to be relatively close to a border that has a rail and power connection. It looks like this might be my answer right here. So I've got rail connections in this one, as well as multiple, I got multiple road connections, and we have a power connection, and we can buy and sell power. We can be a net importer or exporter, and in the beginning, we're gonna be an importer for sure. We've got another one here with lots of rails, good. No power connections here though, but mostly we've got a good amount of stone nearby, and population ready to work, which is good too. So this might be the best place for us to start. And I think I'm going to right in this area, yeah. As long as this oil is available to me. Let's test it out. So as I hover over this, you see the little red dots, right? We're gonna go to construction, oil, and pump jack. And you're gonna see how it changes colors. It's going green here. Wow, 96, 97, 98. Can I get a 99? I've never seen 99. Oh my God. How about 100? I'm greedy. Can I have it? No, but that's a lot. Okay, so we're gonna start here. We're gonna start in this corner here. So what I'd like to do, you can see the icon on this, right? There's a pipe exit. It's like an arrow pointing away from the unit. And then there's a road connection. So it kind of depends on where I'm gonna build everything. Based on the locations of all this oil though, I don't know. I really don't know. Let's see kind of where we want to be with this. So with this oil being here, yeah, right about here, you got 85, 88. This is actually pretty fantastic. This little stretch here. I mean, we have to use a lot of land, and there's going to be a lot of piping involved, but it's going to be nice. And then there's a big one over here. It looks like it's right on the town. Please don't be right on the town. Oh, is it right here? It's got to be here. This is a big one, 98. Oh my gosh, it's so close to... All right, we're definitely starting in this tile over here. So we've got multiple nations. If you're just joining us from the timestamp, hi, welcome. We've got multiple nations right here. A couple of towns. They're kind of pathetic, but there's a population there. I like it. There's also some places to get gravel. You can never have too much gravel in this game. And most importantly, there's a ton of oil right around here. So we're definitely going to go with gas power. We're definitely going to go with oil refining and all that kind of stuff. And that's going to be the bulk of our money spend, as well as, I think, the bulk of our income as well. There's 3 very little towns, but there's still 3 of them nearby. I like it. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of a cut here. We're going to have a little bit of a time lapse potentially here. As I set up an oil network, I guess, a pipeline network that's ultimately going to lead it into a refinery. And this is a lake, not a river. Do we have a river here that can give us a... Yeah, this one here gives us a good external connection all the way through. Wow, that's a great river. We might want to start over here a bit more. I have power connections here. I do, and a rail. That's not bad. I think I'd still like to hook up with this one, though. So we'll probably end up using that a lot. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to walk you through the first initial stages of the setup, and then we'll kind of time-lapse it and go quickly to get the setup from that point. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is set up this little line over here. We don't want to spend too much up front, but I want at least like 6, maybe 7 pump jacks if I can afford it, but at least 6. So we're going to start with infrastructure, pump jack, and let's find this oil right here. So we got a nice little right there. It's pretty much right here. So 90%, 91, 90. Okay, so I'm going to think ahead on how I want this infrastructure to be. And I kind of want the piping to go that way. So we're going to look to have the piping go that way. It doesn't really have to point that way. It's mostly about the roads either also, but I don't really care. We're going to go with really cheap roads on all this stuff anyway. So let's go 90% here, right about there. So that'll be my first pump jack. Oh, it started. It's all starting now. Great. All right, so the next one is going to be up probably in this area is what it looks like. There's a little one there, but I think there's a bigger one over here is what I thought. Should be a bigger one. Yeah, right here. This is like this was like my 99% one, wasn't it? I thought it was. Maybe I'm just imagining things. There's actually a lot of good sources here. Let's put the pipe facing... Let's put it facing this way. So 96, 95, 97 I saw. Gonna want to get that 97 if we can. Yep, there's that. Can I get 98 anywhere? Okay, it doesn't look like it. It's all about getting all the dots to be green. We're gonna go with 97 here. And then we're gonna go to the next area for oil, which is over here somewhere. I don't know where. Let's zoom out a little bit. It's over here somewhere. There we go. Is that what I'm looking for? I think so, yep. So 98, wow. 99. Come on, give me that 100. I've never seen 100 before. I just want it. Can I have it? Dude, 99 is awesome. All right, we're going to do, yeah, like this, 99. That's amazing. It might have actually been better to get one that was like maybe 60-something and then another one that was like 60-something, but this will cut down on power to do it like this. And then over here, there's another one. Yep, right over here. We're going to go about 90 over in this area too. And you can see the cost of doing this, right? So it's going to cost about 6,000 rubles for each of these to set these up. But most of the money is going to be spent in piping and power. So this stuff is pretty inexpensive compared to the rest of these costs. All right, that's 91. I think that's the best number I can get. So let me continue to hunt down and set this up. And then I'll walk you through the next steps, because we're going to be spending like 3 million rubles on our initial oil setup here, like really quickly. And I don't want you guys to have to sit through all of it necessarily. I might actually I might set one up over here just to get a little extra from that source. But yeah, so let me set up a whole bunch of these really quick, wherever all these sources are. All right, so we've got I think it's like 6 or 7 of these things set up here. So the pump jacks are all building with rubles. We'll go ahead and pause it. I think most of them are probably built by now. And they're just gonna look like this. The models look really nice. We can click them. We can see details about each one of these on movable windows. Very cool. Quality of source is 98%. Now, we have to provide this with power. Of course, all of these have to be provided with power. So we're gonna come back to that a little bit later. But for now, what we're gonna do, as far as like power is what we're gonna come back a little bit later. What I'm gonna do now though is I'm gonna connect all these things up with basically the infrastructure that we're gonna carry us to where we need to go. So a lot of this stuff is gonna be unmanned. We're not really gonna care. No workers need to work these things. So they're just gonna work with power. So what we're gonna do is set up a pipeline, underground pipeline that brings the oil over to a central resource area where we can work with it. So what we're looking for is in the infrastructure tab, we're looking for pipes. Build underground pipe connections. Yes, they do underground stuff now. I love it. They didn't always do that, and I was kind of waiting for them to do that before I started playing the game. I wanted that to happen. We're going to click F3 or click this little button here, and that will reveal the underground. It's a lot easier to see the underground pipes when you're looking underground. It's a little harder to see these, though, so there might be times where we don't do this, but I'm going to take the furthest away one. Looks like it's about right here. And what I'm going to look to do... is this not built yet? Wait, are you not built yet? You're supposed to have a connection here. Oh, did I deselected the pipe, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay. So we're going to bring this pipe, let's say, this way. Now, you notice the pipe, though, when it gets to about 338, I think it is. Yeah. It can go 337 meters, but when you get to 338, it's too long. So we're going to bring it back just a little bit. About, like, say, 310 or so. Something like that ought to do, 307. And notice it costs us 38,000 rubles for that, right? So this pipe right here costs us a lot more than it costs us. This little bit right here costs us basically as much as all the pump jacks did. But don't worry, I've got a plan, all right? We're going to be spending a lot of these rubles, but I've got a plan. So we're going to bring this up. This is about 3... It's like 3... Yeah, 3... I need to go this way with it anyway, so... let me just real quick see if I have any other connections to make. Yeah, this one down here. So let's bring this one up. We'll go this way with it. So let's say 220. Let's go 216 or 316. All right. So what we're going to do is set up these underground pumping stations. There's 2 different configurations. There's one where there's 1 input and 3 output. And then there's one where there's 3 input and 1 output. We want this one for this plan. So we're going to line this up and place it in this wonderful gridless world right about here. 13 grand for that. And then we can hook this up to the input, which is the arrow facing the unit. So these are 3 inputs, and then that's the output. This one, we're going to see if I can get it there. It's probably too long. Oh, it's going to be too long anyway. I really wanted to hook it up to that, but now we're not going to be able to do that. So it is what it is. It's fine. Let's take this pipe, go all the way over to this side. And you can see it's going to take a while to get everything over there, and we're going to be spending a lot of cash to do this. So I probably won't hook all of these up right away, but I'm going to hook a lot of them up right now. So let's put this about 313 there. That seems pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and do all of this stuff. You don't have to watch me pipe all of these. So I'm going to go ahead and do this stuff and spend a ton of rubles doing it. All right, I'm spending a bunch of rubles. We got a couple of different... pump jacks, right? These here. Let's just go ahead and get rid of the underground here. We got a bunch of pump jacks here, and the pipe can only go so far before you have to add more pressure. You have to pump it some more. So these pumping stations have to be positioned along this pipeline. And I really like how when you build anything, it kind of shows that construction happened, right? So we can kind of see it really easily, even though we're not looking underground, we can see it. Now notice the money ticking away really quickly. That's because construction happens sort of over time and periodically with your money. So if I take a look really quick underground, you can see that some of the pipe is built, right? This is all built now, but the yellow is pending. So if we let it run some more, you'll see that as this runs, we'll start to get some of this piping built. as it goes. So we have piping happening right here, and then the little walls and stuff underneath. The infrastructure is happening. And right about the time it finishes the pipeline, when everything is done and built, you're going to see this kind of restore itself to not moving so quickly downwards. So there we go. We're all good there. So the next step I want to do is I want to figure out where my town's going to be, where my center is going to be. And I think it's probably going to be right here. This seems like a nice spot. It's pretty close to the border. We have this town really close by. This town's really close by. And then this one over here on this side. But it also puts us fairly close to the pipeline, the little network. We've also got extra pump jacks, like this one here, which is going to head this direction. And I've also added 2 more in this awesome oil source that's right here. Big red dot right there, man. Look at that. Look at that red dot. Huh? It's huge. This whole area is kind of green, so I was able to fit 2 in here. This one I think is 93%, and this one over here was 98%. 2 very good sources, kind of using a lot of that area. Pretty nice. And then, of course, I'll have both of these things kind of piped together as we go. So this oil refinery, this is the next step we want to do here. We want to get an oil refinery going. This is going to convert oil to 2 different resources. It's going to convert it to bitumen. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. And we have fuel. Bitumen sells for great profit, but also it's useful in other building supply stuff too. We're going to be storing a lot of this stuff. And we can see that this oil refinery takes, it utilizes 12 megawatt hours of power. That's how much power it's going to consume over time. So what we'd like to see is a nice area where we can build this thing. And we take a look at the building. There's arrows, right? Pipes go, some of the arrows go out, some of the arrows go in, and there's the road connection, and then there are also street connections or walkway path connections. People need to walk to work, right? So we're gonna wanna set this up in a, I kind of like the idea of setting it near the water, honestly. I just don't want to get too close to the water because pipes don't like to turn really sharply. They tend to want to do a gradual turn, so we're going to want to leave a lot of space. So I'm going to place this, I think, see, relative to this export, right? The export we're going to use, I think, is this one. So probably want to put it, no, we could probably put it over here, I guess. Let's put it right here. We're gonna say the input for oil is gonna be on the back side of it, and then we'll export out towards the left. It seems like a good fit here. So let's go about there, let's say. Now we're still building with rubles, so we gotta be a little careful there. We don't have any resources for us to build with our own stuff yet, and I would like to get that set up today too. Just a little bit, not completely, but just a little bit. Let me see what I can get out of gravel here. So this little area here is like stone, and if we go in and see about a gravel quarry, what kind of quality can we get from this? Pretty good. In the 90s is good. 96. Yeah, I like it. It's all right. It's a very simple thing, and it also has a very small area too, right? So you might be able to fit several gravel quarries here. We'll start with one, because this does take a little bit of workforce, I think. So we're going to start with one. I guess we'll go with the 96%. So we'll drop one right here. It's going to be a little hard to see until it's built, so there it goes. And then we'll start mining for stone there, and then we'll get the gravel processing plant set up near it. It's a little bit bigger, and it can collaborate and work with other buildings, which we're going to do. But that's probably a little bit outside the scope of my first video. I would like to really hammer down on the oil for today. So my rubles is going to go down because this is constructing. And it's all this stuff, man. We're buying all this stuff instead of making it ourselves. It's just the way it is. So around this, we're going to need a place to store the resources, right? So let me take a look really quick at our storage solutions. We have oil and fuel storage, and what we're going to look to do is utilize storage in the outputs for here. So if I set this close enough, it'll actually auto build the pipe for me, which isn't a bad idea. We're going to want 2 separate pipes. Well, honestly, I think we want 3 separate pipes. We're going to want one over here, so we can pump all the oil into this tank, and then this tank feeds this. And then we're going to want a second 2 factories over here, 2 tanks over here, where we can store the outputs that we're going to be ultimately selling and using. So I'm thinking probably we'll put fuel I can use this one too. I don't want the auto pipe though. I want underground pipes. They look way better. I like them more. So we're gonna use them whenever we can. So I'm thinking we'll probably have a road right here, most likely. So if I set this tank up, perhaps right here, maybe a little bit forward. Yeah, maybe here. And then set up another tank on this side facing this way. It might be too sharp of an angle. We could also do it on this side. Yeah, because the road coming between these, I don't know if that's gonna work real well. Yeah, I'll probably just do this like side by side over here. So we'll put these really close together, but I need to go in really quick and cancel the pipes. So I don't want these two to be connected together. Doesn't look like they're actually gonna build them anyway, fine. And I don't want the auto piping here either. So these auto piping is gone. That's going to be our 2 storage tanks for the output. And then our input is going to be on this side, and we're going to line it up about here. Should work just fine. And again, I want to build underground pipes because it looks a lot cleaner. All right, let's let this stuff construct so I know how much money I have left. Because at the end of this setup, this initial setup, we're realistically probably only going to have maybe 500,000 rubles left. We have a lot of money left to spend. And one of the things we're going to have to spend on, of course, is power. So if we take a look over here, we have the power connection, and we can choose to import power or export. And initially, we're going to need to import because we don't have our own power plant. However, if we can produce enough fuel, well, we could just have our own power plant too. So why don't I just get that constructed right now? Because exporting power is pretty profitable. Should keep us afloat for quite a while. We're going to use a gas power plant for mine, unless there's coal really close. Not even a little bit close. Wow, coal is very far away. So never mind. We're definitely using gas. So the gas power plant, I think we'll probably have it feed from the fuel source on that tank. Wait, no, this takes oil. Yes, this consumes oil. Okay, fair enough. We'll set the power plant up over here then, and it can draw off the oil tank. So we'll put it over, let's say, this should be decent. Although, where's my power connection though? Isn't my power connection? My power connection is in the same spot over here, isn't it? Yeah. Well, since we're going with underground pipes, I can opt to have this direction. Yeah. I think this direction will still work okay. Wow, you are really trying to give that, aren't you? No, we're not gonna do that. Yeah. So right about here should be all right, I think, for this. And we got walkways. We got the high voltage indicators there. I think this will be okay. Because again, we're going underground with this, with all the piping. So let's go, and it's gonna cost me 180,000 rubles for this. This is our power plant, and it's gonna be very important. So I'm thinking we're going about like that. Oh, right, the land isn't, yeah, we need to flatten the terrain to do this. So actually, I was really hoping to have a construction office before this, but let's get our roads. We're gonna need to buy some roads, but eventually we're gonna be making our own roads pretty much exclusively. I like this rail connection. We're probably gonna export here, but the power needs to come from the other side. So let's have this road come all the way down. Yeah, down through here. This will be like a pretty main road here. And we're spending a lot on this. I don't want to spend on gravel, man. I'm just gonna do mud road for now. It's free. So all the way down here, about like that. The mud road is very slow for vehicles, but we'll probably upgrade this afterwards once we're doing really, really well here. Let's have the road go this direction. Please tell me you'll connect. Yep. And yep, good. And then this road here needs to connect to that too. It's a little bit short. Let's go a little bit further. We gotta go straight line here kind of thing. Yeah. That's about straight. Pretty close to straight. Let's bring this road to here. And these mud roads are free. That's the only reason I'm using them. Because I'm not sure how much I'm really gonna, how much money I'm gonna have left after this. All right. So things need a connection with the road just for the regular services as well as trucks. Plus, we're going to be drawing fuel from here to facilitate gas for all of our vehicles because we opted to have energy management not just be electricity, but I also have to manage fuel for all of my stuff. That's like an extra difficulty parameter or whatever that we set. Okay, so if this is where our oil refinery is, now that we know the location, we're gonna get started with the pipes still. Yeah, so let's go underground really quick. This pipe's gotta go this way. A little bit too long, we're gonna have to bring it back. Set up another intake right here. And I'm using the 3 in, 1 out because if I ever have another source that I wanna pump into here, it's really easy to connect it up to the regular line that I already have. For example, I did that down here, this 2 thing here. So I put this in, and then these 2 connected there, right? And then down here, I just had this already in, but this one managed to just bring this over and connect it onto the existing line. There doesn't seem to be a max output for these oil lines, or these oil pipes, so basically just one pipe can push as much as you want, I guess. All right, so we're gonna connect it to this tank. I'm kind of hoping that fits without needing another pump, but I have a feeling I'm gonna need another pump. Oh my God, it's within 2 meters. You can't make this stuff up, guys. You can't do it. You can't make it up. 2 meters, wow. That's a close call. All right, so all the oil from all of these pump jacks and everything, it's all getting pushed into this tank, okay? And then this tank is going to then push it into there. And now it's going into the oil refinery. They get access to the oil that we're pumping in. And then notice this tank also has an intake on this side, which we can bring in all these sources and bring it in and put it in right here. If there's anything more on this side, we can bring it down, like this one right here. We can bring it down this way and connect it to that. And then it gets into the same thing. So this is all kind of, in a way, pre-planned, right? All right, got a couple of storage tanks here as well. And what we want to do is hook up one of them. We'll use this one here. And then this one we're going to wrap around and bring it in there. All right, so now we have 2 different tanks all hooked up underground. I like it much better. This tank, we're going to tell it to store the bitumen, and this tank is going to store fuel. All right, good. So this whole system is set up. We just have to wait for it to complete building. It's sucking down my money while it's building. And I didn't build my power plant, so let me just go ahead and do that really quick. Because I had to level the ground, right? So it looks like it'll let me put it here without leveling the ground. Is this what I want? Kinda? I mean, it's right in there, though. Is this really what I want? It's so close. I think I want to push it back. I think I do. If I push it back like this, then I'll need to go above ground with the piping because I have underground that way and this way, so I won't be able to go underground crossing it. So I'll have to go above ground. So if that's the case, I might as well go like this. And might as well maybe I just put the power plant right here. It's off the road. I kind of like it. It's a simple tank right there feeding it. Yeah, okay. We'll put it right there then. All right, so power plant's in place. Oil's in place. And we have a little gravel quarry that we're gonna expand on later. Maybe I can get this one hooked up too because it's right here. We'll see. I need to see what our expenses are right now, what our finances are like. So power, we need to bring power in. There's no power connection here. So we're gonna come over here. This is our power connection. I think I'm gonna use the big old expensive 18 megawatt lines to bring it in because it gives me the biggest flexibility on exports later. So we're gonna look at high voltage wires, okay? Now, there is some thought ahead of time we could put into this, like where I'm going to want my substations and stuff to be and my little switches, just for powering and the rest of this stuff. But I think for the initial line in, the big high wattage line, it's a pretty straightforward process. So what we'll do is we'll bring in the 18 megawatt lines. And this gives me just better flexibility later. I have to spend way more rubles now, but I get more flexibility later. And, you know, I might just go across. I kind of like the straight line approach though here. If I go this way first, that actually takes care of it, except for the water. Ooh, I could do that. I don't know. I don't like the way it looks. Yeah, I don't like the way it looks. I'm okay with this though. This slightly diagonal across the hill kind of thing. I think I'm all right with this. And building uphill seems to be more expensive. Is that the case, or is it just distance? Might just be a distance thing. All right, we'll bring it down to like, I needed to hook up over here, right? So I guess we'll go from here. And then we'll come across from there. Ah, man, you know, I don't really like that either. We're going to go all the way to the water. We'll try this. It's more expensive, but it might look better. Okay, to there. And then what I'm going to want is a couple of things to happen here, actually. So let's pause. I want to cancel this really quick. We're going to do this. So these big lines are going to get built to there, okay? Then what I want is two things. I want a high voltage switch. And we're going to position this maybe here. This is probably acceptable. And then I'm going to want a power transformer on this side. Yeah, it's probably going to be this side. Maybe right over here near the water. So why don't we put it... I could probably deal with it just being right here. Yeah, let's go with right here. I know it seems seemingly random, but it's gonna make sense in a second. All right, so this switch is a way for me to bring high voltage in and then route it other places, right? So we're gonna connect this to, let's say here, go there. And then this is gonna be the full 18 megawatt, just in case I wanna export it later. We're gonna bring it all the way out and hook it up to that. Okay, so let's build that. All right, good. And then the next thing is to bring it power to the transformer. Now, currently, we're probably going to have to go straight from the switch to there because we're importing. So I don't know if that's going to work for this because initially I was going to take this this line and go maybe, I don't know, 8 and bring the 8 megawatt from here to here to the power substation or to the transformer. But, well, since I have to import power first to get my oil production going, I think temporarily I'm going to go like this. It's going to look a little messy, but I'm going to fix it later. So we'll go like this, bring it out, and then we'll just bring it over to here first. So what I've done here, if you're confused on how this electricity works, what I've done here is I brought very expensive power cables. 18 megawatts of power. All right, we're going to import power. I'm going to say probably all of it that we need to import here. But we're not going to do it yet because I don't need it yet. But we're going to import power. And that allows me to bring more power through these giant, like you've probably seen these, you know. I actually live really close to these. These look very similar to the ones that I live really close to. Like it's a 4-minute walk and I just have this big field with these massive power line structures going through, right? All that voltage is going to get sent over to a transformer, which is then going to kind of divvy up that voltage into smaller, medium voltage lines, which will then get fed to each of these areas. Now, these areas are going to be fed by substations. So we're going to go into these electric substations, and I want to position these to where they can provide power. Oh, did I miss one? Ooh, I missed one. Nice. Well, I'm going to have to pipe that in, aren't I? Yeah, it's a good thing I came prepared in the way I structured everything. So I missed one. We'll bring this up. It needs to connect to over here. So we'll bring it up to about here. And this is why I piped it with that 3 in, 1 out, is so I can easily adapt and bring in more when I see it. So bring it like that, and then bring it all the way out like this. Looks like I'm gonna need 1 more, probably 2 more, unfortunately. So we'll go about here. I guess it's fine. And then we're gonna line you up, put you about there, hook you up. Ooh, why not? Too long? Oh, just a hair too long. Okay. If I didn't build it yet, I didn't get charged for it yet, right? It charges me as it builds it. So build it when you're paused and you get a full refund. And let's go about like that then. I probably did this just a little bit too long there. Okay, and then we'll bring this over. Yep, we're gonna need 1 more. So right about here ought to do it. And then we'll put 1 more in like this. And honestly, it probably doesn't matter which one I do here, but because this line is going to block it anyway. But if I go overground, then I can still get in there, I guess. So it's fine. Then we'll put in the underground right there. No? Ooh, you're not going to work? Why not? Did I put the wrong one? No. No, it just won't work. What about going like this? Huh? Okay, hang on. Let's cancel this. And then we'll try to bring it in. Okay, there it goes. And then now for this line, all I have to do is bring the pipe to here to here. And just like that, that whole thing, man. Now that new one is hooked up too. We're gonna be cranking out the oil like madmen. All right, power substations. Let's take a look at this. So we need substation here. If I can position one to provide power for 3 machines, that's better. But this one's gonna have to be 2. And let's go water side with this. So as much as possible anyway. So we're gonna go about here. Actually, we're probably just gonna have a road here. So this could just be right alongside that road. That's gonna be here anyway. No, I'm gonna go water side. I'm gonna flip this over. Yep. And we're gonna go about like that. As far this way as we can. Here we go. Yep. This looks good. Then we want one that provides power for more than this. So it's like 3 of them. Can I get 4? Tell me I can get 4. No, it's just a little out of reach. Okay. So it's going to have to be these 3. We're going to go about here with it. Sounds good. And then we need for these 2. That's got to happen. So we'll go about, let's say, well, that road's going to run alongside here. So I guess this will be acceptable. And then this one doesn't have power yet, I don't think. Nope. So we're going to have to pair this one up with this on the water side. Yep, about here. And then these things don't have power yet either. So, yep, we're going to run the power lines on this side. So we'll have it go from, I guess we'll just put it where the road is. Yep, here. And then also here. The road on the other side. Oh, it's on this side. It looks like anyway. Fine. All right, and I think that mostly takes care of it. We need power for these 2 things, so it's going to be water side. And this is the process, man. You just provide power to all your stuff that you made, right? You do all the stuff that you just made. Okay, so I've just made a lot of substations there, right? And we need to get power lines out to every single one of those substations. So let the rubles flow. Oh, they're already built. They get built very, very quickly. So to do this, we're going to get a couple of medium voltage switches. And I think we're probably going to have to go... You know what? Let's build the roads first, so I know where those roads are. We're going to go with mud. We can upgrade it later. And so let's have the mud road go this way. That always looks weird. I don't like how that curves like that. Let's instead do the mud road straight from here. Yeah, all the way out to like maybe like this. And then we'll cut this way. Yeah. We'll cut out about this way. And again, we upgrade this road later. About there, let's say we go that way. And then it goes this way. We're gonna go that way. We're gonna go kind of between all these things, right? And it goes all the way, let's say like that. Kicks out that direction. And then the road is going to come this direction and then curve that way and then up this way. All right. And then we just hook up all these things to the road here, here. This is only so service vehicles and stuff can interact with it. It's not, I don't think it's super vital, but if something catches fire, we need the fire department to be able to get to it, right? So let's go like that. Yeah, there's fires in this game. You have to manage that too. The other reason to connect all these up is so that I can more easily see them, because there's not really an easy way to highlight all my buildings. I could turn on the wireframe. That might help. No, not really. Didn't really help me. Topographical map doesn't really help me much either, although it does tell me where the high ground and stuff is, so I suppose. Yeah, so road, mud, all the mud roads, they're all free for now, because pretty much everybody is just walking to work at this pace. All right, all these are connected. Let me get everything set up, connected, and then we're going to use these switches, right, to get people in. They need to go. So let's put that there, And then hook this up to the road. Yep, and then all of this stuff needs hooked up too. So we'll have this, I guess, bend that way. All right, I think everything's hooked up to the road now. Well, no, we missed a road, didn't we? Yeah, this road was missed. So we'll go, yeah, we'll just go down this way. That. Hook you up to the roads. Great. And this is already hooked up. All right, now I think I got everything hooked up to roads. I'm good now. All right, so the switches. Now that I know where all the roads are, I can place the switches a bit more kind of where I want them to be. So let's have these voltage switches. We're going to take and go probably 2 of them. Yeah, to make this cleaner, and also because I want these lines to not just serve only the substations for oil, I want them to be able to go other places too. I'm going to use the highest voltage medium wire I got to send this way. And again, we're going kind of water side with this, so all the way over across the water like this. But the other thing is, I think right about here is where I want that first switch. Right about here, yeah. So medium voltage switch goes in. It's going to be about here, I guess. Oh, that's in. Yeah, this is actually kind of interesting because the switches only have 3. Oh, when I was thinking about planning this, I think I was accidentally using transformers and thinking that they were switches. Yeah, okay, I was. All right, no problem. It'll just be more than I thought. No big deal. We're going to set this up near the road, I guess. I'd rather set the roads near this just for cleanliness sake. So let's cancel these wires. And we'll set the first switch down over here. Maybe we'll have the road duck in. Nah, it's fine. Just put it right about here. And then have this, these lines are going to connect, let's say there. Yeah, there and here. Like that. And then this line goes with really low voltage. I don't know how much we need on this substation. Depends on how much it's hooked up to, so we'll go about here with that. This one here, it might be cleaner actually to just directly hook it because it's, yeah, I think we could just directly hook this one. We don't need to switch for all of these. And then, so that means this one can wrap around and go over to this one here. So why don't we, yeah, I gotta play around with how I want to connect these things. Let me dink around with all this stuff and I'll be right back. All right, I think I got it. It's taken a little bit to route the cables, but I think I got it. So it comes off this power station here, and it's very possible that I will have to run a second set of like really strong lines. But I think I have the power output to sustain this off of what I've got. So there's a couple of lines here. This one is a really sort of small, weak wattage, if you will, weak voltage line to this substation. And then the heavier ones kind of carry it through down this way. You can barely see them because of how small they are, but we basically run tandem here, 2x2 here. Then this one splits off, goes to this station. I think you guys pretty much saw me set this one up. And then it kind of departs into this splitter, which splits it to here with a really low voltage line. And then this low one takes it all the way to that substation over there. This one continues on. And it gets to this switch, which then kind of teeters off to here and redirects little voltage there. And then the low voltage all the way to there. And then it also continues with weaker pulls. I figure by this time I don't have enough output for this anyway. And actually, it makes, I think, a little bit of sense to carry that to here just for the sake of the money. There's really no reason to send the really strong one at this point. I don't think we're going to have enough output for that anyway. So we'll go about here, and then it cuts this way. There we go. And then, so we go all the way through here, and then it just meets up with this switch, which sends it to this substation, and then this substation. So everything in the oil line should right now have power. The power lines are all ran to every substation. They should all have power. as long as I'm importing it. So why don't you say we turn it on and see what we get, huh? So let's turn on the import. And we're going to crank this up to 18 for now, just to see what happens, right? And if we've set it up correctly, we should see oil showing up in this tank. So this tank needs power. We don't have power here, which is a little ironic considering it's connected directly to the power plant. But since we are importing power right now, oh, there it goes. Oh, we are. It works. Okay, so now we want to test things out. It looks like it just takes a little time. We want to test things out, and I think temporarily, just to really make sure, I'm gonna put a substation right here, and we're gonna hook up this line here out this way, and straight over and hook it up to that. That's just gonna make sure that we have everything hooked up to power the way we want. And these muddy roads, ugh. I'm not gonna keep this substation here because the power plant will act as well, so it's fine. But we are getting oil filled into here. Now we don't have any workers here, but it does have power. So perfect, we're ready to get workers and start processing the oil. Very good. We should have power in all of these. Operating without issues, excellent. Operating without issues, that's what I like to see. Visually, we should see these working. There we go, very good. All of these are powered now, fantastic. So we're pumping lots and lots of oil from all over the place now, man. This is pretty good. All right, these power lines everywhere, and there's still more pump jacks to hook up. I haven't even hooked up these yet, but the goal is we start refining. So let's talk about people, huh? Should we talk about people? Tell you what, this is a lot of content for one video that has no people, but I'm starting with oil, okay? So tell you what, we're just gonna add a couple of people, but then we'll look at their needs and sort of meeting their needs in the next video. Also, be sure if you guys like this video, if you wanna see more of this game, be sure you interact with it, thumbs up, give me a comment down below, that kind of stuff. Get yourself the bell, all that stuff to help support it. It helps support the channel, it helps support more videos on the games that you like. So just be sure to do that because it really does help. Sometimes people think they're just insignificant, but it does help. All right, so I'm gonna take and add some people here. Now, to do that, there's two different ways. You can get them, I guess organically, people having babies, but mostly you import them as immigrants, right? And it costs a little bit extra. So we're gonna take and go to residential buildings. And there's prefab buildings here. These are all look kind of the same, and they each come with a set number of workers. Now, this building can have up to 500 workers max, and this one only is 15. So right now, our facilities can cater to, at most, 515 workers. But realistically, with the output we have for oil, we could probably get away with like 300 workers in here. So I think 2 of these prefabs right here is probably more than sufficient. But it looks to me like the difference in price. Oh, the quality of the flats. Okay, I was trying to figure out why the one costs more. So this one's gonna use 11 megawatt hours and it has 91% quality. This one's gonna use 10 megawatt hours, but it has 96% quality. It also uses less power and less heat. Well, because it has less people, that's why. I think I like this though, but even though it's less people. So we're gonna set up some people, and again, it's kind of, I'm not entirely sure where I want to set these up per se, but we're gonna make this work as best we can. So I'm gonna set some people up. I think along this street is not really where I wanted them. I kind of want them here, to be honest. But we're gonna have some pollution right here, and I kind of also want to keep them away from that pollution. So why don't we extend this road out just a little bit more? And then maybe we can go up that way with it. Yeah, well, that's towards the... Yeah, we got to hook up that granite. Granite? No, it could be granite. It's stone, though. We got to hook up the stone, so we'll get there, too. All right. And again, we're going to focus on people more in the next video because I spent all my time on oil here. It's going to be worth it. You'll see. It's going to be worth it. Let's take and... yeah, we'll go with these ones. They're higher quality and stuff. So we'll go with, let's say... how about 1 and just 2 like this? For now, we'll just do these 2. And we're also going to want to add some other stuff for them. Remember, they can't work unless we provide education, or we provide education for their kids when they're under 6. So I have to have education too in order to get workers. So we're going to grab a kindergarten, and we're going to put the kindergarten, I think, right here. Yeah, this is a fine space for it. And then we can also go in and tend to their other basic needs. So let's get a fire station in case of fires. Very important. And I think we'll go ahead and put that maybe over here. It's nearby all the utilities. That's pretty good. Let's bring it a little bit closer for the sake of workers. I think we should bring it closer. Yeah, we'll go. Should we just connect it to the road? I'm just gonna connect it to the road. It's fine. And then a hospital in case they get sick. They're gonna, because of the pollution, but I think we have a little bit of time for that. What's really important is shopping. So here's a small shopping center, and I'm gonna place this. I might do crops and stuff here, growing our own food. So why don't we position this to where these back areas. We're gonna talk about those little extra arrows that look weird. We're gonna talk about those in a little bit later. But I'm gonna position this to where it can kind of interact with that maybe. So how about here? Okay. We're going to let that stuff build. The last thing we're going to need to provide for them is like something to play, like a football field or something. They want some sports, right? They want to interact with sports. They need something fun to do. So we'll give them a little football field right here. All right. So that's people, okay? We're bringing in the workers. All right. So now that we got the oil coming in, and it's being sent to the oil refinery, right? We're starting to get oil pumped into here, which is nice. And we're going to start seeing fuel as well as bitumen coming out pretty quick here. The way we do that is by connecting the workers to the places where they have to work. Right now, there's no workers here. So let's change that. We're going to pause it really quick. So we've got a bunch of people living in here and living in here. And they can send their kids to kindergarten. That's important. And up to 47 kids can go into kindergarten. So that's good. Now, we need to connect these things up so they can walk to these places. In some of these situations, like this road, they can. So if I click this and hover over this walking icon, I can see which buildings they can access here by walking. That's a pretty good indicator. But we want to get them down to this one too, because right now they can't even walk to the gas power plant. So there's a couple of things. I've reconnected this road, and that didn't help. So let's do some other stuff. We're going to take and go to footpaths. And you can see that if we use this footpath, well, they can walk faster, right? The mud makes everything really slow, but this footpath is better. So we're going to get people hooked up to this one. They can walk to the grocery store, which is important. So I'm going to have a walking path kind of go this way. And we'll just bring it all the way over to like maybe here. All right. And then this is going to get hooked up to that. We're also going to hook the buildings up to it. And it's not that expensive. So we'll just kind of hook up like this. I'm going to connect these two buildings here and here for the kindergarten. Easy. And then we're just going to give some walking paths to some of these other places. So we're just going to make sure that they can access this kind of no matter where they are. All right. So now we should start seeing people walking these walking paths. And you see now they're using the paths to get over to the grocery store, which is going to be good. This little shopping center. Now, each of these places needs supplies, okay? And in the beginning, we really don't need electronics. So I'm not going to bother with buying those. Those are pretty expensive. But we're going to purchase their other materials using rubles, right? And we're going to set this on like an auto purchase. It's very expensive to do it this way. If I wanted to maintain, for example, this many for food and clothes, if I wanted to maintain, let's go like this. Yeah. Meat as well. Okay. If I want to do this every time we purchase, it's like over 7,000 rubles. Like, that's crazy. I don't want to buy that. That sucks. Maybe we'll keep less clothes in stock for now. And we'll maybe pump up food a little bit more. We'll try that. But I can say auto-approve the purchasing plans. And so things will just bring it up here and fill up while my rubles go down. Okay? And for the fire station, they really can't do their job without a vehicle. So in the fire station, I'm going to make sure I buy with rubles. There's a buy with dollars here as well. But I'm going to buy with rubles a fire truck. And I'm going to do the fastest one probably. But there's also this one here, which looks like the engine power is more, but it travels slower. That's a little odd. Not sure which one I'd want. How about we just take one of each? Call it good. So it can respond to fires, and that's good because it needs to respond down here. Now, some of these roads need upgraded, okay? And we need to do that because I think mud is not great, right? So I'm thinking what we'll do is, I know there's a way to upgrade roads. I'm just not sure which one it is. Not clone area. I think it's just a hotkey. It might be simply clicking this while it's yellow. Is it this way? I think there was a way to... Maybe I hold shift. Okay. I hold shift. So we're going to take and... infrastructure in the way. Here we go. We're just going to upgrade this road as best as we can. Okay. And I think all the way out here is not that necessary, but getting them to this is necessary. We want to get them to work here. So I'm going to upgrade these really quick and then upgrade this one. I guess it looks like I just maybe just draw over top of the existing road. That might be how it's done too. Oh, you know what? And if I hold shift, I bet you it's like I draw a box. Yeah, there it is. So I draw a box and then it upgrades all the roads in the box. Okay, cool. One last one over here then. We're just going to upgrade this one and this one here. All right. And then this needs connected for the sake of, you know, getting the service vehicles and stuff to this too, which doesn't look like I can actually do that very easily. Not letting me connect it. I think it's because this isn't... If I upgrade this part here, I bet it'll let me do it. Right here. Well, I thought it would. Crossing not allowed. Interesting. Well, all right. This is just a little substation. Yeah, I don't think we need to necessarily worry about it. But you're going to notice now people are going to walk, right? People are walking over to work. All right? In the big oil refinery, which is where we want them to work because that's where we're going to start selling stuff. So you can see that we're producing fuel now, right? And that's being exported out to these tanks as well. So we have the bitumen tank here, and we have our other tank right here with fuel, all right? Now that fuel is going to be used for all sorts of things. We're going to get a gas station, and that's going to help us with fuel for our trucks as well, right? Our fire trucks could do a good job, but if they can't refuel, well, then they eventually can't do a good job, right? So that's going to suck. We also have a temperature problem because the temperature in the building is too low. Now it's April, so it's going to get a little warmer over time, but right now they're complaining about temperature. And you can see in the flats here too, 27 kids can't go to school. I think this is going to get changed over time. It's like it's got to adjust for the fact that I did this. Is this not connected? Is this not actually connected? This may not be connected here. It doesn't look like it is. No, it's just the way it is. All right, well, whatever. It's fine. Maybe we'll get another path. Depends on where I'm putting the rest of the housing. But I think we're okay here. If I take a look at unemployment rate, maybe I scroll down. Does it tell me how many of these guys are going to work? One worker can't go to work because of no kindergarten. There is. They just have to adjust. Takes a little bit of time. Yeah, 2 workers can't. We can always tell whether or not these guys can reach their destination by clicking the building and then hovering over the walking icon. And that'll tell me how far away it is. But if it highlights it in blue, it means they can reach that destination. So there it is. And then that's all the basics to set this up. We got workers, we've got this, but there's so much more in this game, guys. Holy cow, there's more stuff in this game. So yeah, we got some work to do. Hey, so near the end of this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the Game Development World Championships. So this is something that takes place every year, and Workers and Resources Soviet Republic is part of the contest for 2021, the Pro Games. There's various different categories, and you can find out more information about that at their website, linked in the description down below. I think it's a pretty cool thing they do. It's mostly indie developers, but they do have a lot of contests for people who create commercial games. That is to say, anyone who's looking to sell their games and make money, or have in-app purchases, or have ad-supported free games. They're all in the same category, and there's people from single game developers that are on their first game, all the way up to bigger studios that have dozen or more people working on games. Again, find all the information down below. Special thank you to them for sending me a copy of this game so we can check this out together. I'm definitely playing more. Thanks for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.